Yo, Crypto Nation and mining family, what's going on? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on, Crypto Bedell? Got those FAs coming right on in hot and heavy with that. Got Crypto Crag. What's up? F to the A, people. Yes, that is true. That is so true, guys. And as you're sliding on in, don't forget to smash that Lizzy like button. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell notification. You know what to do. This ain't your first roller coaster. What's going on, all you awesome people? It's like I still have a few GPUs on Flux, but earnings are poopy. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I still have to switch my rigs over to something else myself, dude. My farm's still been on there. I was just starting to talk about that with Mikkel. Just starting to talk to him. It's like, okay, what's our next move? Because we've got to think about everything going into the facility. Does that mean that rigs are going to start mining all sorts of different coins? We'll dig into that. We will dig into that amongst other things. So let's, as we're waiting for all you awesome people sitting there looking, in, that are starting to slide on in, let's get into some of the news tidbits that have been going on around before we jump into the meat and potatoes. And my cat is going nuts over there over something. I have no idea what she's playing with. Oh my god. She's nuts. All right, check this out. So Asus Mini ITX motherboard with a detachable chipset. That's actually kind of cool, guys. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of cool. So this is basically what it's going to be breaking down off of the board side. This is what it's going to look like while that little detachable chipset is plugged into the motherboard. Now, what's cool about it is how it's stacked in, right? So, you have a heatsink down here. You have an M.2 riser that allows it to go from vertical stance, a Gen 5 drive going from vertical stance to horizontal. And then the detachable chipset is going to allow for a Gen 4 drive to go right up on top of it with a heat spreader in between. So they're going to be stacking M.2s in a very small area. Now, my whole thing about it that I see an issue with, right? One, you're now limited on what coolers. So some of these coolers are large enough to where they get pretty damn close to the GPU already. All right, the motherboards that I got from Tech Shinji. He's got these massive freaking coolers on there. Does a great job on the 5950Xs. Bro, they're like baller. Bon appetit, right? There is no heat problems with this chipset at all. But man, the cooler butts up right against the GPU. No problem. It's like boom, right there. So if you're gonna have a system that you're setting up and it's gonna be that close, and now you're putting it right in between a potential cooler and doing all of this. What's going on, Nick B? Now you're talking about putting in a double stack of M.2s with heat sinks coming up, lifting off the board. Check the height of that out. It's like this is the rear I/O of the motherboard. This is where you're plugging in all your peripherals, and this thing is sitting there, and you're slotting in a GPU right next to it. So if let's say you're using a mini ITX board, but you got a 3080, right, or a 3080 Ti, like myself, right? This thing is going to be right up against it if you have to slot this thing in. Now, if you're doing a small form factor build, sometimes this is not so much of an issue on a small form factor because you're limited on your small form factor for the size of the GPU that it can house, right? And then you're usually using um, a riser cable to relocate the GPU in another spot. So now this no longer becomes an issue. For people trying to do those type of builds, not a problem. But anybody who's like trying to put slot of GPU in on this last slot, you might, not saying it's going to, but you might see a performance hit because now the backside of the card is being snuffed out. Is it going to take a big hit on the M.2 drives that you slot in? Not really. I mean, unless you're doing some like crazy workloads on there, the average person will never see a performance hit from that. Not on M.2s. Maybe if it got like nasty hot inside of a case, like it was getting suffocated inside of a case, and then you get a Founders Edition breathing heat, a Founders Edition 4090 sitting right next to it, blowing the pits of the Inferno Abyss onto the M.2 drive. Maybe at that point you might see a little performance hit. But overall, generally speaking, the M.2 side, you might not see the hit. But GPUs are a little bit more sensitive, especially if you've got a 3090 that has the memory modules on the backside. You want to make sure there's airflow on the backside of that GPU. I always say you want to have at least 1 inch of room around the GPU for proper ventilation and heat load dissipation. Because for every 1 watt you're using, you've got to dissipate 3.41, 3.42 BTUs of heat being generated per watt. So the higher the wattage you're using, the more BTUs you got to radiate out in some fashion. So what up, Crypto Hunter? So it's like I always kind of cringe when it comes down to like stacking up a whole, like a little wall right behind where you're going to slot a GPU in. Your mileage may vary, but most of the time when I see people going after these mini ITX boards, they're usually putting them into a small form factor case, and they're putting the GPU into on the other side of the motherboard, so there's like really not so much interference with all of that. You're still getting a little bit of suffocation because the backside of the GPU, depending on the case that it's going into, is going to determine how much airflow is actually incorporating all around the GPU. I like to just envelop them in like a pocket of good, fresh, clean air. The more air you move, the more that it can sit there, and you don't run a risk of heat soaking the air temperature. What up, Tech Man? What up, what up? Awesome to see all you awesome people coming on in here. Don't forget that smash that lizardy like button, guys. Yo, and girls, if Sadie's here. Here's one. I mean, you guys know I like my water blocking a little bit here. New Eisenwolf 2 AIO custom GeForce 4080 and 4090 GPUs. They're basically making an all-in-one GPU cooler. So you basically take your old fan shrouds, then cooler off of it, slap this bad boy on. Depending on which GPU is going to depend on which one you get. I don't think that all the mounting holes are uniform across the board. I'm just saying. But it does look pretty slick. I don't know if these are the quick disconnects on there. If it is, bro, I like that touch right there. Not gonna lie. But I mean, to be able to slot something like this in, and for somebody who is like worried about, oh, my GPU is gonna overheat my CPU because the GPU is using that much more wattage than my CPU is. You could sit there and go this route and basically get yourself an aftermarket Hydro Edition. Are you going to see this great gain off of it? Not really. I would say that you could push a little bit more wattage out of them just because you've got more surface area for cooling. So, I mean, that's where the game really is. That if you can increase your surface area cooling, then yes. If you get a one-to-one representation of an AIO versus what the stock cooler is, then no, you're not going to see any difference, because once you get the water temp to its maximum heat load, that's where you're going to be at. So then your only limitation is how big your radiator is and how much it's going to be dissipating the heat out. So a triple fan radiator for a card this large, is going to be a good matchup, because you're going to the heat load of that particular radiator is going to be for a I think they're good for like 500 watts worth of heat load dissipation. So if the card is if the item that you're trying to cool is using less than 500 watts, then you're good. But if like you slap a 4090 on this and you got a 500 watt dissipation value, and your 4090 is utilizing 400 watts on average, you're gonna hit the peak temperature, and it's gonna maintain, and you're gonna have maybe a little bit better performance than a stock air cooler, but not by much. Now, if you went with a quad, the one that has the 4 fans on it, sure, you're going to see a better heat value on there, because that's going to be good, good for, depending on the thickness of the radiator. But with using the Alpha Cool's thin line, I would sit there and put that into that 700 watt range. So now it can handle the GPU and keep the fluid from hitting its peak heat range, because its cooling ratio is better than the potential heat load that's on the system. But that's also going to affect because you're going to be more effectively pulling the air out of the heat out of it. It's going to put that same amount of heat into the room. And if you start recycling all of that heat in the room, as miners, we know that you start having runaway temperatures no matter what you do at that point. What up, Automatic Beats? But it's like, I do like the look on it, though. It looks pretty snazzy. It's like, I like how the hose arrangement on it is. I'm figuring this is where their pump is. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like that's where the pump is. If I had to take a guess of where they hid the pump, because like I know the Alpha Cool radiators, so this will be a standard radiator, standard Alpha Cool fans. So this whole block up here has to be the pump. So you got the RGB on it, and then you got your PWM signal for the pump itself. That would be my guess on this. Doesn't look like they have the active backplate water cooling on there, but with the 40 series, they are all the modules are all on one side to be for cooling. I think they should still be coming out with a rear mount cooling, but in an AIO sys setup, I understand where the corner is being cut for that one, because then it's not really an AIO. If you've got to assemble it and fill it with water, you're basically dealing with a custom loop. So you're only going to get active cooling on one side, but again, it's for where all the modules being on one side, and that's typically where active cooling is already. Is it a bad thing? Probably not. I don't see it being like a huge performance deficit, but it looks like it's going to be good for the Inno3Ds and the PNYs. Palette, Gainword, Gigabyte, Zotac, MSI, and they're looking like they're going to be having one for the NVIDIA GeForce Founders Edition also. So if you guys are going to want to run these in your own personal PC and you want to get them in some water, this could be a nice solution once it comes out all the way. So yeah, I like it. It looks cool. I dig it. Would I do a whole fleet of these? Oh, no. a couple of Delta fans would be a lot cheaper than running this for like a mining operation. But for a personal PC, I could dig it. I would probably do that as an upgrade, as a nice upgraded feature, and it would just it's like if you know that the card is never going to live life on the top end, then you can sit there and really push the card and have some really good performance with it. But for a mining operation, oh hell no, hell no. So moving along, we got the 4070 being shared out. The embargo is still on. As we can see, the embargo for it is blurred out until April. Is when the announcement, I think, is going to be coming out for it. But some of the specs are leaked out as of right now. We're going to be looking at 5,888 CUDA cores, base clock of 1920, boost clock of 2475. I would say that if you were like hitting it hard, you might be able to see like 25 to 26 mega hash. It depends on how much they've locked down these cores for overclocking. Will really depend on where the threshold limit is. I mean, you might find a lottery winner that might be able to do almost 27. Or definitely get over 2600 megahertz per megahertz total on there. Tongue twister. But the max frequency on the compute side will be 29 teraflops. Memory will be 12 gigabytes of the GDDR6X memory on a 192-bit bus. We'll have 504 gigabytes per second memory bandwidth on there. Target default will be about 200 watts, probably while mining. We're going to see like right around that 130, 140 range on this particular card. And it looks like it's going to be coming out in April. The 4060 Ti hasn't been officially announced when they're going to be coming out with it, so a lot of the information is not there. It's going to be on. They do know with some of the leaks that it's going to be coming out with the 8 gigabyte GDDR6 non-X on a 128-bit bus, 288 gigabytes per second, at 160 watt range. So this is probably going to be your nice, more efficient range. Now, if you're looking at it for the gaming side of that, the 4070 and the 4060 Ti are going to be really close to each other, so it's just going to be pretty much down to budget-wise. Now, for mining, of course, you start stepping up in the chip substack. You get better performance, a little bit better power efficiency out of the deal. But at the end of the day, budget is where you stop on your on the tier structure, whether you're going AMD or NVIDIA. I'd be interested in what how the 4060 Ti and the 4070 really pair up. I mean, they're confirming that the 4060 Ti has 4,352 CUDA cores. I mean, you're talking about 1,000 CUDA cores difference between them. How much of a performance hit are you really going to see? You're still going to have a lot of the features of the newer ray tracing, the new DLSS 3, but it's going to be cut down. So how much it gets cut down, what parts of it they're cutting down on there will kind of also depend on its performance. Will change its characteristical performance for mining. So for gaming wise, I think they're going to be really close, and I'll say just your pocketbook will be your deciding factor at the end of the day. I mean, if you're trying to pit a 4060 Ti to a 4070 Ti, you're going to see the difference there, because now you've got the 70 Ti class versus 60 Ti class. But the 70 Ti and the 60 Ti, I mean the 70 and then the 60 Ti are going to be like that in between. It depends on what features they turn off on the 4060 Ti that makes the 4070 tasty. The 4060 Ti is going to be your budget friendly. 4070 and 4070 Ti, you know, the 70 class has always been your mid tier, and your 80 class was your hardcore gamers. And then what's now the 90 class is really the Titan class. And yes, it games, but do you really need it? More than likely, no. It's like, unless you're a competitive gamer, most people are not going to be sitting there and noticing the difference unless you've got the baller ass monitor set up, you know, where you're looking at a $50,000 computer build. Then you're like, oh yeah, I need this, bro. More power to you. You know, you're putting the money into your little toy. Cool. Most other people are on 1080p, 2K monitors. That's usually pretty much the average right now. 4K and 8K is not standard between many people. Again, you know, I don't know about you, but I don't got a lot of money. So, like, buying the top of the line monitors, not going to happen. So, does it make sense to be running a anything above an 80 class GPU for gaming? No. Mining, maybe. You know, it's like but it's like what I've learned from the 30 series, that the 90 class GPUs, they're horrible with the power. It takes more power supplies to run these things than it's worth. So you start going down the substack of the product line, going, okay, AMD is nice and happy with less power, or I go into the 70 and the 60 class GPUs for mining equipment. And for me, it's always been the 70 and 60 class, been that sweet spot, that mid tier, has always, you know, been budget friendly and a good value. Are we going to see that with the 4070s and the 4060s? Time will tell. Once they officially come out, all we can do is speculate at this point. And considering that the landscape of mining keeps changing every second, it's hard to say what we can even utilize as a benchmark, going, oh yeah, we should be able to make X amount of dollars with it, or X amount of coins. It's not like we have Ethereum as our benchmark or de facto benchmark anymore. You know, it's like, and you know, Flux just did its halving. You know, now that the profitability on that is poopy. So getting into other things before we start talking about some profitability here. NVIDIA, if you guys are running any of the newer GPUs in your daily driving PC like I am, I've got one of the newer I've got the 3080 Ti in my main PC here. So at CES, NVIDIA unveiled its RTX Super Video Resolution technology that will improve the video quality by artificial upscaled content to higher resolution. This feature would be available on the latest RTX 30 and 40 GPUs in February. Yo! So the RTX 20 series with support coming later. So that'll be interesting. And my only concern about this is I mine on my GPU. Is the mining software gonna be compatible with this new driver update, or is it going to be leaving it alone? And, you know, it's like I've had it where I update a driver and my miner don't work no more because they changed a few things in the driver that now certain settings have to be changed in the miner to be able to call out the APIs properly. I you know, it's like I've had it happen a few times. It happens from time to time. It depends on what part of the API that if they're changing up callouts for some of the APIs, they change any of the callouts, it will affect your miner that you're utilizing. So make sure that you have the old driver sitting ready to be able to reload in case your miner takes a bork. If you're still wanting to mine on it, you might have to roll it back back to the original driver that you were already utilizing. So always keep that in mind, that you might have to do that. If it still kind of acts funny, afterwards, like the miner doesn't, like it's crashing afterwards, you might have to DDU it. Download DDU and fire it up in safe mode and take out all the NVIDIA drivers off of your PC altogether, and then shut your computer down and then reboot it and then redo the drivers that worked originally fresh on there, and usually that'll clear it up. So sometimes it's a pain in the butt to be dealing with new drivers and then mining too. So this is where sometimes people are like, hold off with your mining on updating your drivers. So whenever this comes out, I will inform you guys, because I will update the drivers. If it borks my computer, I will let you guys know immediately. All right, guys? It will be no problem to let you guys know. So that is that with some of the hardware news. Let's go ahead and get into some of that crypto stuff, guys. So check this out. Argo CEO follows resignation trend after company Galaxy Digital, which is owned by Mike Novogratz. A lot of the Argo CEOs have been resigning since basically the downfall of Argo. Now they're just looking at being having the major acquisition and a newly filed lawsuit. So a lot of Argo high ups have fled. Basically, they were like, "This is a dumpster fire. We're out of here." Now, whenever you see the acquisition starting to happen, and then other CEOs are coming in, it's because they're not liking the terms of service of of how the acquisition is going to happen. Either they're going to get axed out, or they're going to be getting a pay cut and having less say so in how the companies run. Those in power tend to try to stay in power type of deal. And you'll see, even whenever I was working for Pep Boys, as Pep Boys was being purchased, I was trying to formulate the thought properly. So as Pep Boys was being purchased, there was a mass exodus of about 13 high ups at Pep Boys that stepped down from their positions as Goldman it wasn't Goldman Sachs. God, what the hell was that guy's name? But anyway, it was a big investor that Icahn. That's who it was. Icahn Corporation. I knew it would come to me. It was driving me nuts. So Carl Icahn with the Icahn Corporation purchased Pep Boys. During that acquisition, Icahn Corporation purchased Bridgestone's contract on Pep Boys and told them to walk. So they basically, Icahn paid Bridgestone, what was it, $25 million to take a walk. That they were purchasing Pep Boys by any means necessary. And as the acquisition happened, 13 of the higher ups at Pep Boys resigned. And it's that there was that they were there was terms of them leaving, and within that whole contract, it was something that it wasn't an, oh my God, this happened out of nowhere. During the acquisition, they basically settled this was their exit, what they were going to get for exiting the company and resigning. So I'm absolutely sure that each and every one of them, I know one of them for sure, had gotten about $2 million upon resignation from Pep Boys. So I mean, it wasn't like it was an oh my God situation for the higher ups. They were basically purchased and told to take a walk. So to see that some more of the CEOs are resigning, this could be just residual stuff that was going to be happening no matter what. But Argo blockchain is a dying entity. I don't know what Galaxy Digital really sees in this moving forward. Really, I really just don't see anything that I would want out of this company, other than mining equipment. I'm just saying. I think that's probably all that they're really going, that Mike Novogratz would go after, is just the mining equipment. Going, ooh, you have mining equipment, we'll take that. So yep, we'll see about what's going on with that. Be interesting, right? Be interesting. Mike Novogratz with Galaxy Digital has been gobbling up mining facility guys. This guy if he were to turn off all of his mining rigs, you would see it in the hash rate. Galaxy Digital has a lot of hash power, guys. I mean, you're probably looking at maybe 1%, maybe. I know he's getting up there. Something that's getting up there that I keep an eye on, because it popped up on my radar like a few years ago, and I've always just kind of, that's an awesome place to go mining. You want to know where an awesome place to go mining, where you would never have to worry about heat ever. Freaking Siberia, guys. That's right. So Russian government subsidizes crypto mining facility in Siberia now. They are now basically trying to get a stronghold on crypto mining, guys. So the facility, which opens this year, will possess 30,000 ASICs machines and hire 100 workers and consume 100 megawatts from the power grid. Now, what's cool about Siberia, of where they're at, there is a lot of hydroelectric dams that was built by the Russian government, and the facility is operating inside of one of the Russian government's ammunition facilities, or ex-ammunition facilities, where they would sit there, and they used to house a lot of rockets and stuff like that. It's now been repurposed into running a crypto mining facility, and they are tapping into hydroelectric power. This is going to be awesome. But they're going to be looking at opening up a new facility, guys. So this is what perks my interest. I already know about the company that they're talking about here, but now they're talking about expansion. So now the new facility will be a $12 million crypto mining center in East Siberia. So they're going to be a little bit further away. I don't know about if they're going to be where the power's coming in from. Probably still the hydroelectric field that they have up there, would be my guess. But I don't know if they're repurposing another building for this. That would be interesting if they're repurposing another ex-military base that's no longer in use. Because Russia went so industrial so early on. They already put buildings damn near anywhere that it could be built already. So makes sense to be just repurposing buildings that they're no longer utilizing. So it looks like it will be opened in the first half of this year, and it'll be run by BitRiver, Russia's largest crypto mining co-location service supplier out there. And that is the same company that I know of. They're the ones that are operating out of the Russian ex-Russian munitions facility. Now the facility was utilized during the Cold War stuff. So I mean, like, Russia's beyond that stuff now. No point in harvesting anything up that far north. But it's perfect for crypto mining, because you can sit there and, oh, my rigs are overheating. Hold on, let me break out one of these windows. Is it cool enough yet? Nope, let me break out another one. Pop. How about now? And just get it to the point where you're letting enough fresh air in that it's just gonna cool everything down. Uh, and you don't have to do anything other than just having the machines run. You open up enough windows in there, and you'll almost be able to have a conversation next to the ASICs because it'll be pulling such cold air. Damn near turning. You almost hear the freaking fans turning off every so often. Be like, "What's that?" Oh, that's when the A6 fans actually turn off, and be like, "Wow, they've turned off. What? They're not broken." No, I think that if they hit a certain temperature going too low, that they'll go into protection mode too. Got to remember, guys, you can't let the ASICs get too cold, nor can you let them get too hot. S19s don't like to be above 100 degrees. And the What's Miner M30 pluses don't like to really be above 110 degrees. So keep that in mind. It's like, I'll cool you down. So that'll be pretty, it's like pretty cool. The mining center will also enjoy a broad set of incentives from zero land and property tax to a lower income tax rate. The electricity price will be cut in half for the mining operator. Damn. I would love left-handed cigarettes. Check. I would be really interested to see where the starting price was and what it got cut in half, for what it got cut in half from. I mean, if they were already paying 3 cents a kilowatt hour all in and they got it cut in half, you're talking 1.5 cents per kilowatt hour for this mining for Bit River to operate in Russia. Oh my God. That would put them in line with some of the most profitable mining in the world. Period. I mean, that right there, hands down, is some of the most profitable mining in the world. Bitcoin could drop down to, I mean, the difficulty would have to drop down too, but Bitcoin can come down to, theoretically, sub $10,000 per Bitcoin, and somebody mining at 1.5 cents per kilowatt hour, all in, is still profitable. What up, Sadie? Uh-oh. Sadie coming in with the puff pass. Puff pass to the left. That's right, guys. That's so right. Too funny, guys. Hold on here. I
smoke weed every day.
Whoa, where'd that come from? Oh, kitty. Where'd that come from? Yo, GPU, Jesus. So the governor, it's like, I'm really interested to see where Bit River's price now is. If they're getting an incentive to get the electricity price cut in half, zero land and property tax, and lowered the income rate tax on it. So they're basically just highly incentivize these people to go all in on mining, guys. This is that all in signal from a government. It's like, you do it now, and you do it better to everyone else for Mother Russia. Patrick, oh, that's too funny. Your 16-year-old you is going, you old fart. What's wrong with you? You ain't even cool anymore. Ah, too funny, Patrick. Too funny. And then here's an interesting one too. Boom. We have Bitfarms settling outstanding loan with BlockFi for $7.75 million. So BlockFi, Bitfarms borrowed $21 million from Bitfarm previously. And since BlockFi is like going bankrupt during the bankruptcy proceeding, BlockFi is going to be looking for Bitfarms and anybody else that owes them money to start paying up. And they're going to be like, hey, we need you to pay everything. And all these companies are going to be like, that's not how the contract stated. We have X amount of time to pay you back over this many years. And they're going to be like, okay, fine, that's cool. So we need to get something because we're going bankrupt and we need something's better than nothing. So it looks like Bitfarms has settled $7.75 million. So they basically they gained some money off of this one. You know, you're talking almost $14 million in the plus. You know, you're just under $14 million. $13 million, something like that. They just profited like that overnight. It works out good for Bitfarms as long as paying the settlement doesn't screw over Bitfarms either. I'm sure that it's not. I'm sure that they would have been like, look, you are not going to bankrupt us because you want your money now. Our contract says X, Y, and Z. And as of right now, X, Y, and Z is the contract, and that's what we're standing by. You want it early. Now you're talking renegotiation, and now you're talking what we're willing to pay as of right now. So hopefully this doesn't screw over Bitfarms, and they're able to continue doing business as usual. But they did, they basically purchased, they've got, a little under $14 million worth of equipment and infrastructure. Probably Compute North. Yeah, probably. Yeah, there's a bunch of them that have outstanding debts to these companies that have been imploding, and it's like these Chapter 11 restructuring lawyers think that they can just go, oh, you're going to pay us this, and it's like, contract. Yeah, no, I don't think so. And it allows the companies to basically negotiate and write off a whole bunch of debt because they don't have to pay it back. There's no possible way. I Golden Wolf, I hope to God you get something back out of this, dude. I do not want anybody in this community or anybody period that's, a hardworking person to have issues because of the fact of bad business practices being given from corporate financial people. Because it should be just like a forewarning of everybody out there. If they're talking about interest yields of some sort, figure out what the product is. If you can't figure out what the product is, you are the product, and do not invest in it. If you can sit there and see what they are selling, and what you're supposed to get paid back and what they're actually earning, does the earnings match what they're paying each individual? If the answer is no, then again you're looking at a system that's fundamentally broken, even if it was done on good terms. And I think that's really what BlockFi was really all about, was that they were thinking that they can bring a banking structure into the crypto space. I guess you could sit there and say, they had good intentions, but, really bad executions. And unfortunately, there are people that got wrapped up into that. Same thing with Celsius and everything. I mean, I feel bad for anybody who has lost money with these companies imploding. But, it's like at the same time, don't get mad at yourself or in any way, shape, or form. Just use it as a learning curve. going, hey, it took me X amount of dollars to learn a lesson of there is no yield in crypto. It took X amount of dollars to learn that I should never put my dollars in with a company that's not, that's not even backed up by any insurance, FDIC insurance. It's not a well-regulated area. It's not like you're dealing with your bank. It's like you want somewhere to hold your money, leave it in the bank. You have at least a 90% chance of getting your money. Core Scientific, yeah, they're another one that's been that has been scrambling, trying to because they blew through their whole war chest, and then they were housing all of Celsius's ASICs. So and Celsius stiffed them on the bill. So yeah, they're like a lot of these companies have been just slowly imploding, and it's because they started building in a bull market, going, this bull run will never end. It's like, is this your first time here? Yep. Core Scientific had a massive loan too. And they sold off a whole bunch of ASICs to get out of some of the loan. Yep. So yeah, we're looking at a big tidal wave of all these big ASIC miners that decided to do big expansion during a bull run, when you're supposed to sit there and accumulate during a bull run and build during a bear market. You never build during a bull market. Never. But what do I know? I'm just a little miner. These S9s, 9Ss are the best. Never be obsolete. I'll disagree with you on that. To a point. So if you're sitting there and you're dealing with what is this, like, not in dark mode? There we go. Like, oh, it's so bright. But if you were looking at let's see here, the S9. So the Antminer S9. Now, so this is my metrics, okay? This is my metrics. So your Antminer S9, right? Here's all the flavors. This is 12 cents a kilowatt hour, right? So this is at 11 cents a kilowatt hour. So at 11 cents a kilowatt hour, because most people in the U.S., after taxes and everything, are between 11 and 12 cents a kilowatt hour, unless you're in California or something stupid like that, right? So you're going to be looking at losing about $2 to $2 to $3 a day, right? So what would it take to actually become profitable? So at that point, let's say you're some of the best industrial rates that I've been hearing in the United States, 4 cents, like 4.2 cents a kilowatt hour, right? So at 4.2 cents per kilowatt hour, the Antminer S9 SE actually makes 12 cents a day. So basically, if you can get power below 4 cents a kilowatt hour, the further underneath 4 cents a kilowatt hour you are, the more profitable your S9 is. Period. With that being said, if you're running these and you're like, hey, I'm at my house, I don't care about what it's making. That's a totally different decision, you know. But overall, it doesn't make sense unless you are at 4 cents a kilowatt hour or less. And realistically, that is the less side of it. So I need to be at realistically 3 cents a kilowatt hour to make the S9, you know, any flavor of the S9 makes sense. So at 3 cents a kilowatt hour, you could be making anywhere from 43 cents to 16 cents a day after electric. But you got to be at 3 cents a kilowatt hour or less to be profitable on it. It's like, yeah, you'd be way better off buying BTC at that point. No. If you're getting 3 cents a kilowatt hour, you're just wasting electricity on inefficient hardware when you could be sitting there and at 3 cents a kilowatt hour, you know, putting in, let's say, an S19 flavor, right? And an S19 flavor, you'd be making $17 to $5 a day with an S19, depending on which flavor of the S19 you're going after. You are in profit city. You know, if you had the S19 XP Hydro Edition at 255 terahash, you'd be making bank on this thing at $17 a day profit after electricity, but it only makes sense at 3 cents a kilowatt hour to really be making that decision. Otherwise, if you were at, you know, let's say 4 cents a kilowatt hour, you know, it's like you might as well be looking at better hardware at that point, right? So the better hardware, you know, at 4 cents a kilowatt hour, if you were able to get down that far. Now, this doesn't go out to the people who have, you know, where their power and rent are all baked into one. You're basically gonna mine it. You can mine it away, but just know that there might be a day where your landlord knocks on the door and goes, "What the hell are you doing in here?" The power is not truly free. Just saying. But I do know people in situations where they're mining, where their electric bill and their power bill are all built into one, so it's just one bill, right? Because it's a shared meter, and usually places like that has commercial power, so it's not so bad for them, but at the same time it kind of is. So, but yeah, I mean, at 4 cents a kilowatt hour, it makes absolute sense to be running this. Now, if I was sitting here at 4 cents a kilowatt hour, there's other things like if you're able to get your hands on the KA3, you know, you can be making about $40 a day if you can grab these. That makes a whole lot, a whole lot of good sense there. You can get the Antminer L7, making $20 a day, getting some of that Litecoin and Dogecoin. You can grab yourself the WhatsMiner M33S++. Be making $14 a day. Ooh, yeah. I'm just saying that's actually not bad at all. That there's not bad. You know, it's like you're kind of floating around when you start coming down the. I have some M30S pluses. You know, I would be making $6.13 a day if my electric was 4 cents a kilowatt hour, all in, dude. That's like your all-in price. I'm a little higher than that. Working on getting it a little lower. Eventually get there. Eventually, but you start coming down this list, and once you come into here, you're looking at the gold shell KD6. You're making $5 a day. This is hovering to not being profitable soon at 4 cents a kilowatt hour. If you're at home, it's not even profitable right now. M30S making $4 a day. That one's almost obsoleted too. The Antminer T19 at the 84 terahash, that's making $4 a day, almost obsolete at this point. The Canon Avalon miner, I've never really been big on the Avalon miners. For the hash rate you're getting and the wattage they use, they're not very efficient. The micro BT, like the What's miners, those ones aren't too bad, but some of the older ones are starting to show its age at this point and going, yep, time to retire these. If you're running T17s or the S17s, if you're running S17 or the S17 Pro, and you're wanting to buy them because you're starting to see them a good deal on them, kind of be careful about buying them. That you need to put the T17 Plus cooler plate onto them, which requires some soldering. Typically, if you're buying an S17 Pro or an S17 that has not been converted yet, it's typically about $600-ish, $600 to $700 per hash board to get this service done. And I don't know who just knocked. Hold on, guys. Oh, my one buddy, who's as blind as a bat, always losing his phone. He's like, I wanted to call you before I came by. I'm like, I'm live streaming as usual. He's like, oh crap. Now I'm getting them left-handed cigarettes dropped off. Yeah, no. Not that kind of lifestyle. I'd be a whole lot more of a richer man. I'd be like ultra wealthy right now if I had that. Too funny. Let's see here. At 4 cents a day, what equipment is not profitable? The LB1, the Gold Shell LB1 is no longer profitable at 4 cents a kilowatt hour. Wow, there are some miners on here I haven't seen in a hot minute. The Obelisk SC1 Dual. Bitfly Snow Panther B1 Plus. Wow, I haven't seen these one. Daeyoung Zig M1. Oh man, wow. Illisinicon T2 Terminator. Oh my god, 17 terahash. I remember these. These came out right as I was getting into the crypto market. Antminer S19i, of course, not profitable. Oh, the giant A900. Oh wow. Decred, the FF Miner Decred D18 for Blake 256 R14. I wonder if anybody's even using those anymore. That's hilarious. Dia RR200. Wow. GMO Miner B3 for 33. It was like one of the early 33 terahash ones, but they were using so much wattage to do it. 3,417 watts for 33 terahash. Wow. Let's see here. The Todec Todd Miner C1 Pro Eagle Song 3 terahash at almost 3,000 watts. Ugh, that is horrible. Hummer Miner Mars H1, yeah, the Mars H1 Miner, 88 gigahash on Handshake. Too funny. Absolutely too funny, guys. So I mean, like, careful about with grabbing ASICs. It's like if you're at home mining with this stuff, it really doesn't make sense a lot of times. And for the ones that really do make sense. I mean, like, let me put it back to like a reasonable, at home power rate. So you're gonna be, I'm gonna say 11 cents. We're gonna apply it at 11 cents. I know. It's like the Todd Miner was obsolete before it even came out. It's like, why did you even launch this? So it's like mining Bitcoin right now is nowhere near the top of this list. You're dealing with the altcoin market for the top ASIC miners. So Cadena, making you, if you're at home, you'll be making $32.86 a day. Drawback is you got to have 220 circuit. You're going to be looking at 3,154 watts. Noise decibel is at 80 decibels. So it's like running a more of an industrial vacuum cleaner all the time. Especially if it's on the warmer side. So it's like you're going to be dealing with that. So you can only put so many of these ASICs into your home before you basically run out of amp load for the rest of the house, because you still have to be able to turn lights on, you still have to be able to use your microwave, basic essentials in the household. You can't just utilize all the power. I tried, it doesn't work very well. There's a fuse panel there, it's 100 amps. I've tripped the main breaker because somebody microwaved some soup. Or I was using my air compressor in the garage. Yep. So, I mean, like, you can only put so much onto these circuits. So, in a 30 amp circuit, you're looking, you only want to utilize 80% of that circuit. So at 3,000 watts, you really can't put too much more on there. So it's not like you can sit there and put a 30 amp circuit and put two of these bastards onto one circuit breaker. It's going to be one of these and a small GPU rig. And I mean a small one and nothing high powered. A nice, efficient, nice rig, maybe 1,000 watts extra onto that circuit. It's like, because like realistically, you're looking at like just under 7,000 watts. It's like I try to run it right around that, right under 6,000 watts, pulling off a 30 amp circuit. Seems to be the safest route for me, where the circuit's not getting too hot. You're not overloading anything. And if anything decides to spike, you got that little bit of headroom in there. It's like the jazz miner needs different algos before they get smoked and go belly up. Yes, that is true, Patrick Murphy. Air compressors with an inrush current will get you every time. I know, right? Every single time. It was like compressor kicked in, lasted about 30 seconds, main breaker broke. Tripped. I was like, party's over. Had to wait like 10 minutes for the circuit to cool back down. I like opened it up, put a fan on it, and I'm like, cool down. But that's what happens when you're running. What was that? How much hash rate? I had like 20 gigahash. No, Oh, it was 12. It was 12 gigahash on ETC, and then I had a bunch of Litecoin miners rolling at the same time. So, and on Litecoin, I had like 5 or 6 gigahash on Litecoin. Yeah, it was like, oh, I need to do something. Let me unplug one of the Litecoin miners so that we have the available wattage on the circuit. Thank you. 3,200 watts on a 12 amp 220 circuit with 12 gauge wire is concerning. Safe, but warm Romex. It's like, oh, hold on here. Let me get next to my little toaster. It's warm here. It's like you're like warming up against the wall. Wall's all nice and warm. Oh, that'd be not to me. That's not safe running. That's not safe. Not safe. Not safe. Just saying. So, it's like when you're dealing with some of these ASICs, be careful about which ones you're going after. Jazz Miner, you're gonna have to be careful with them. If they keep running out of algorithms that they can continue to mine with, they don't sit there and continue pumping out good equipment. They're gonna get phased out. Otherwise, it's like you're competing with Litecoin. Cadena keeps popping up here and there. Eagle Song has been there for a little bit. Handshake's up there. But you're looking pretty much, it's, Cadena, Eagle Song, Litecoin, Handshake, Bitcoin, depending on your circuit setup that you have and your power rate. Depends on which equipment you want to go after. That's why a lot of home miners tend to go after GPUs. And what's the state of GPUs at this point, guys? Booyah. So here's hashrate.no. Going right into the GPU side of this. So if you're one of the cool kids with the 4090, so DNX is been pretty profitable. I know a lot of people have been buzzing about DNX and all that stuff, but they're not. It's one of the more profitable coins out there, but not de facto the most profitable one. Period. So I mean, you could be sitting there doing DNX or Nexa. If you make it between 74 and 56 cents a day with just one GPU. I've got 3090s. DNX would make me about 46 cents a day above electric. Now this is me plugging it in with 11 cents a kilowatt hour, guys. So this is what we call profits. I know we haven't heard that terminology in a hot minute, but it's here and it does exist. You just got to be savvy enough to know what you're mining. So DNX seems to be profitable with the 3090 across the board. If you got an RTX A5000, you're going to be DNX, of course. The NVIDIA 4070 Ti, you're going to be looking at DNX or Nexa. But you can keep scrolling right down the list. 3080 Ti, my GPU, good on DNX or Grin. Actually, no. On DNX, it's earning 8 cents a day. If I go over to Grin, it loses 8 cents a day. So it's like hovering right there. So we can see where that profit line is. And check this out. Oh my God, what? Get the out of here. No way. Check this out. A 1080 Ti is more profitable than a 3080 Ti. Get the out of here. What? A 1080 Ti, I mean, granted, we're not talking leaps and bounds, guys, but still, what? DNX is making 12 cents a day on a GTX 1080 Ti, and a 3080 Ti is only making 8 cents a day on DNX. An old GPU is actually doing better. That is crazy. Get the out of here. Let's see here. A 1070. Let's see here. Is 1070 on the list? Here we go. 1070. Nope. 1070 Ti is not profitable. You'd be losing about 10 to 23 cents a day with a 1070. Go back up. Tenths. Go back up. Back up. Back up here. 38. Here we are. Back up to where I was. A2000. You're making 5 cents a day. Nexa, you're making about a penny a day per one. We got the Super, got the 3080 Ti. If you got the old mining GPUs, the P104 and the P106, you'd be making 8 and 9 cents a day. That's crazy. That's basically your 1060 and 1070 there. Oh, really, John? No way. So the A5000s, you're not making 39 cents a day? Or you got the A4000s. You're not making 30 cents a day on it? Per card. You're giving me live data right now. Live data. I like live data. For one A4000, what's the an A5000 is basically a 3080. A5000 is basically a 3080. Okay. Yes, 3080 Ti. Here. 3090. Oh, 1070 is 13 cents a day. Wow. Get the hell out of here. Where's the 3080 at? 1080. 3080. Oh, really? Damn. That's crazy. So, okay, so then your card should be, huh? I'm actually not sure. I like the layout of this, but I've all like myself. I mean, like all of you guys, I typically use what to mine. But I was sitting here checking this out. And I'm like, I like the layout on this, because what to mine doesn't always have the newest coins in the list. Only about 2 coins at Zerg Pool. Okay. I mean, it's good to know. It's good to know that maybe the numbers are a little off from where their calculations are. I mean, that's interesting because like if the A4000 is more like a 3080, then then I wonder if you have to put it onto the same algorithm that a 3080 is being recommended, which would be either ELF at 6 cents, or we can come all the way over to what to mine. And if we had like like I've got a rig of 3080s here. Let's do this at 11 cents a kilowatt hour. They're a 3080 rig. They're suggesting to be on Xano, over here on What to Mine, or even Alphinium. They're suggesting over here, but my rig at 11 cents would be losing money, depending on how I overclock it and bring it back into more of an efficiency value. I could probably bring it more into efficiency. That's good to know, John. That's good to know. I'll play around with that site a little bit more. Like, let's see here. Can I... See, they're estimating this at 149 hash a second. And you were just saying that you can get the hash rate to display 138 hash a second, but the pool doesn't register at all. So it's almost like it's getting pushed too far. And it doesn't look like it gives me... Yeah, it doesn't give me any real way of tuning this. Okay, that's goofed up. If I were to do this, let's see, I'm trying to do this manually. So if I were to do this manually. You see, they don't even have it in the list here. That's weird. Yeah, and it won't let me adjust it, so I don't know where they're getting their metrics from. If they're just getting it, oh look, we hit the number, and then pulled the highest number and ran with it. You know how, like, when you fire up a miner, and for that brief moment when you fire the miner up, you get that like godlike hash rate where it just blows out to the moon, and you're like, oh look, it did it. And it's really not. It's just the miners trying to settle in, so it's kind of swooping around a little bit. I know that some of the... I'm wondering on here. Let me see. And they don't have that in here in any way, shape, or form. So they don't even have this in here. So this won't pop up on What to Mine. That's another issue that everybody's having too. Is everybody's trying to figure out what to really mine. what makes sense to mine, and not everywhere is listing Dynex at all. So like if you're only going on to what to mine, and you're looking at it like this, you will miss out on some of this. So yes, the numbers might be off over here because their metric might be wrong. I don't know how they're doing their measurements. I would almost do some testing with some of the GPUs that I have, and set things up like that. But yeah, Putin coin. Hey man, if Putin coin will transfer into Bitcoin, I will mine that poop shits for bits, man. I'm just saying, shits for bits. So yeah, so I mean, we are in the precipice of what we can consider, I guess, profitability, guys. Just that, it's like rolling down this information. Know that you're taking this with a certain risk on here that DNX can tank tomorrow, and you just mine for no reason. What up, Patrick? Nam, what's the name of the last site you were on with the GPUs? Not what's mine, the other one. This one here is hashrate.no, guys. Hashrate.no. Let me put that into the chat. Hashrate.no. That's this other site that I've been looking at here. No problem. No problem, Patrick. So I mean, it's like the calculators might occasionally be off here and there, especially when you got places that are trying to at least get some information up, stating that it might be a breadth of profitability, even if it's a penny. A penny earned, a penny saved is a penny earned, right? So, with that being said, anybody else have any other comments or questions? Now is definitely the time to ask away, my homies. So, I mean, yeah, it's like it might not be perfect here, but I mean, it's still a way for us to be able to go, hey, I didn't even look at this coin. I've got that hardware. Let me put one of my rigs on there for testing purposes. Am I getting the same perceived return value on there? If the answer is no, if I've got two 1660 Ti's running, I should theoretically see anywhere from 12 to 20 cents a day in profitability from it, right? And if I'm getting anything short of that, as long as it's still profit, we're good. Maybe they're, the calculation for whatever they were doing is a little off. But where else are you going to put it? Ravencoin? It's like Ravencoin's a dead project, and it's going to cost you money to freaking mine it. Why? Because Ravencoin with Kapow is very power hungry. It is not a very efficient algorithm in any context. That's why nobody wants to really utilize Kapow, because of the fact that it is not efficient. I just threw a couple of pics up into the Discords. Yo. All right, let me check this out now. Patrick, are you using 11 cents per kilowatt hour? Yes, I am. I am doing this at 11 cents per kilowatt hour. Let's see here. You say you threw some pics up. I like to see pics. Crypto Bedell, that's a big B. That's a really big B. A4000s on Zerg pool. So the miner is showing 59.61. And those are the A4000s. So with that being stated, so the A4000s and you're stating that you can get it up to interesting. Because then at that point, where is it? Where is the 3070, 3080? So then I'm wondering if with Dynex, if it's not going to see that 90 hash a second from the 3080 then, and I should see what you're getting off of it, which will be 60 to 70 hash a second off of them. Huh. 5 cards should pay $1.23 profit a day. Yeah, Dynex is proof of useful work, I think, but it's not the same implementation as what Flux is going to be doing. But I mean, if it's profitable still. I mean, if you're still talking profits are profits. I mean, if it's $1.23 in profits at 11 cents per day or 11 cents a kilowatt hour, I'll take that. That is a win. That means that if you can negotiate your power bill to be lower, that is further in the profits you are, which makes sense. Yeah, Dynex is like a server running on your stuff on their chips. Yeah. Faster than quantum computers, they say. Yeah. The famous last words, right? Their chips are like AI. What up, dude? It's an interesting use case for proof of useful work and creating more use for older cards, for sure. Proof of useful quantum BS. I'll agree with that. They were probably like, they probably had their left-handed cigarettes and they were sitting there making this, you know. Just saying. Just saying. So does anybody have any other comments or questions before I head up out of here, guys? And everybody, thank you, everybody, for being here. It's like ChatGPT created it. It's the woke version. Chat GBT created it, and then now it's the woke version of proof of not useful work. Oh, Rude, it's been raining here like most of the day. They're talking about switching over into snow at some point in time. Oh, because of the 16 gigabytes of memory, it's supposed to do better, but as you're finding out, it's not. That sucks. Like proof of useful quantums. I want some, please. Nothing but sunshine over here. Yeah. I'm too far up north. We don't get sunshine all the time. So, does anybody else got any other comments or questions before I head up out of here? All you awesome people. If you don't got any other comments or questions, certainly drop some FAs in the Chizity chat, guys. Drop some FAs. Good night, Rude. Thank you for dropping in. At least hitting the lizardy like button. Subscribe, and I know you're already subscribed, but to anybody else that's new, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff. You guys are rated F for freaking awesome. Yo, that's right. So if you guys are wanting to, you're new here, join the Discord. Links down below, guys. It is free. If you're wanting to have your rigs hosted at the Family Mine, for that lovely 9 cents per kilowatt hour. Yo, definitely get into the Discord. We're talking 9 cents per kilowatt hour, all in. Plus, $5 per month for your rig to sit on the shelf, and that will include a dedusting once a month on your rigs. Just saying, a little quick blowout, Make sure. I mean, the facility is pretty clean already, so I mean, it's not like it's going to have a huge dust buildup. I had worse of an issue in my little mining room here because I've got cats that would go in and out of there in the wintertime. So in the wintertime, I'd start collecting a lot of fur. So I was like dusting out my stuff a couple of times during the wintertime. But in the summertime, no issues. Imagine that, right? Whoa. Red Panda is in the house and talking dirty to me. Yo! I would love to send them over. Man, I would hate to see the shipping fee and the duty tax. I'm bringing that over. It's like RPM in his house, yo! And he's talking so dirty to me. What if I blow out your mining rigs? Can I look at the bare naked circuitry? That'd be at least $5-6 grand. I know, right, dude? You'd be better off like getting a U-Haul and driving it down yourself. Oh boy, there goes the neighborhood. Automatic beats. Little rigs though. Pong. Oh, too funny. Thank you, Red, for dropping by. You are amazing. I love you, dude. Much love to the panda over there. If you guys don't know who Red Panda is, man, you're living under a rock and you need to check them out. I'm just saying. Never underestimate the bandwidth of a station wagon full of floppies. make America straight again. How's Jane? Any updates? As far as I know, he's been doing good. Like, you know, they're dealing with the insurance and all that stuff as of right now. Thanks to everybody helping out. He's been able to grab some of the essentials. And then right after the house fire, his daughter gets into a pretty bad accident, head-on collision. Totals the second car, and she's got like a fractured spine or something like that now. So yeah, like she's all messed. I mean, she's good. She's doing good. But you know, the accident really messed her up pretty bad. Yeah, I know, Rude. It sucks, dude. Patrick Murphy, Dynex is making 1070s great again. Hey, man, the way I looked at it was this. It comes in threes, right? So if you believe in the you know, Gresham laws of three, you know, he lost his house. He lost all of his things, lost a car, and his daughter got injured. That's four things. There can't be a fifth thing that happens now, okay? He had to have worked out whatever bad juju he made. There was like some bad juju in the mix, and that bad juju said, hey, you're going to pay the piper right now. And Jay was like, no. And the piper was like, you're going to pay anyway. So, yeah, hopefully you know, he's paid the piper, and the piper doesn't keep calling for more crap from him. It's like, sorry to hear that. Positive vibes. Positive vibes. I know, right? Positive vibes. He cannot have another thing go wrong. It's spiritually not in balance for another thing to go wrong. So things have to start getting a little bit better from here. I believe that he's on the upward trend from this point on. That's my positive vibe on the whole situation, you know. So, you know, always send out good juju. So, yep. I mean, outside of that, he's doing good. Rude Raven to the moon. I don't think so. Not unless something big happens on Raven. You know, if Tron Black actually makes Raven useful again, then you might have hope. Jubies. Yep. So, all right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. You all rock. I'm going to go ahead and sign up out of here, fellas. It's like, thank you. I think Raven is going to surprise us all the next bull run, honestly. Again, unless the miner, it sucks mining it because it's too power intensive. And there's no real quote-unquote development that's making Raven useful. And I'm not dogging on Tron Black. Tron Black's a good guy. You know, I've got never had any beef with Tron Black. He's a, you know, decent guy. He knows what he's doing. But again, if they're not going to develop on there, you know, just sunset the project. That's just me. Sunset the project. It's like as long as Bitcoin goes up. Yeah. If Bitcoin keeps going up, you know, everything will start going up. I mean, it's not like I don't hold a bag of Raven at all. I mean, I've only mined a couple of blocks worth of mine. I mean, I've sold out a couple of blocks of mine of Raven, so I kept it. So if Raven takes off and goes caw to the moon, I'm selling. No F's given. He's like, balling. So, Lambo time then? Yeah, I wish. I wish. But you see, it's like even with me being a bag holder, you're still hearing me dog on it. I'm not holding my breath that Raven really does anything. Any more than any of these other altcoins. I'm not holding my breath that any of them are going to do any good. Period. That's just kind of how it's, how I've seen things roll for the longest time, is that you see a lot of these coins over the years kind of come up into the top 20. They do their thing for a little bit and then they lose relevance. Something bad happens or whatever, whatever drama happens in the project, and then they drop off. Here it is. We've got Ethereum with their high gas fees. It must be the miners' fault. All of us dirty miners, we're the reason why gas fees right now are outrageous. Oh, wait a minute. We don't even mind that anymore. I know. Cheap jab. I can still laugh. Damn it. Like, Patrick, I'm looking at a 1070. Man, I got a bunch of 1070s and 1070 Ti's, man. I might as well turn them on a Dynex. It's like, cheap jab. 100% cheap jab. You know it. Like, Bitcoin ordinals. Google it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Bitcoin NFTs. Yo. No, I did not. I heard about it, but I did not, look into it at all. I have not, but from what I understand, fucking the SEC is not playing keen to letting retail investors stake. So that option here in the United States might be getting kiboshed here. Oh damn! $30 million fine. Oh, I heard there was some controversy that happened. I didn't realize it was a $30 million controversy. Oh my god. That is crazy. I will have to look into that. I heard there was some controversy happening over at Kraken, but did not know it was like that. I thank you for bringing that up to my attention, Panda. I will be looking at that here after I get out of here. So does anybody else have any other comments or questions before I get up out of here? Anything whatsoever. Yo. All right. Well, if nobody else has any other comments or questions, I will be streaming on Twitch or Twitch under Gaming, Crypto, and Hot Rods. And then at the same time, I'll also be streaming on YouTube under Crypto and Hot Rods Gaming. So if you like Twitch or YouTube for your gaming content, I will be streaming some of that Hogwarts Legacy if you guys are interested in that. Otherwise, I will be back on here tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. Doing my morning workout. You guys will be able to watch me kill myself on leg day. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. I'm still sore from the whole week. Taking 2 weeks off from my shoulder getting jacked up. I am feeling sore. I am looking forward to the weekend. This way I can relax and recover a little bit before I go into the next week. He's like, day 81? Yeah, it'll be day 82 tomorrow. Yep, Hogwarts Legacy. Yo. So if you guys are interested in checking that out, hit me up on there. It could be, ask me anything, trash talk, whatever. I don't care. Heckle me. I don't care. Otherwise, you're just gonna hear me kind of making my own little commentary as I'm sitting here gaming, and all of that good stuff. So if you guys are interested in that, come join me up over there. I'm gonna kind of do a few things around the house real quick here. Might start making some dinner, but after I eat dinner, I will be on gaming. So yo. Otherwise, if you're not into the whole gaming scene, that's fine. I'll be back on here at 9:30 a.m. for some working out, so you can take that as a AMA time, kind of hang out, chat, and chill session, and then I'll be back at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is my schedule, guys, all for you guys. Yo. So with that being said, don't forget to smash that lizardy like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff. Yo, Sadie with the big 20 for Jay and fam. Thank you so much, Sadie. Will do. Thank you so much. You are awesome. That is so FA. We got Sadie all the time with the big dono. Yo. That is awesome. You rock. Like, oh my gosh. Thank you so much. For Jay and fam. For sure. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead with that big old dono from her. I'm going to go ahead and sign up out of here, guys. Thank you, everybody. Drop FAs because Sadie all the time is rated F for freaking amazing. Yo! So, thank you everybody for being here. All that good stuff. Smashing that lizardy like button. All that stuff. Love it. So, peace out. Stay savage. May your watts be low. Your hash be high. And I'll see you on the next one. Yo.